There's a psychological pattern that plays out in relationships that most men completely miss. It's the moment when everything you thought you knew about attraction gets turned upside down. The moment when she stops running and starts feeling an undeniable pull back toward you. And here's what makes this so fascinating. It has nothing to do with begging, convincing, or proving your worth. It happens because of a fundamental shift in the emotional dynamic, a shift that triggers something deep in human psychology that she cannot ignore. Welcome to Aphorism Archive, where we explore the psychology behind human connection and personal transformation. Today, we're diving into why women sometimes circle back to relationships they walked away from, and more importantly, what creates that psychological shift that makes it happen. If you're here to learn about manipulation tactics or mind games, this isn't that. We're talking about genuine self-development and understanding human psychology. So let's get into it. Most men operate under a fundamental misunderstanding. They believe that showing more emotion, more effort, and more persistence is what brings someone back. But psychology tells us something different. When a relationship ends or creates distance, there's a predictable emotional script most people expect. The person who was left behind is supposed to be devastated. They're supposed to reach out constantly, explain themselves, maybe even beg for another chance. That's the pattern our brains anticipate. But here's where it gets interesting. The human brain is wired to notice and respond to unexpected patterns. When something doesn't match our mental script, it creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, an uncomfortable tension that demands resolution. Think about it this way. If you were to suddenly stop following the expected script, you create a gap in someone's understanding. They prepared themselves for one version of events, and you're showing them something completely different. That gap becomes fascinating to the human mind. It demands attention. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding a basic principle of human psychology. We are drawn to what we don't fully understand. Certainty and predictability, while comforting, don't create the kind of psychological tension that drives attraction and desire. When you remain emotionally stable after a separation, when you continue focusing on your own growth and purpose, you're not following the script. And that unexpected stability creates questions in the other person's mind. Why isn't he falling apart? Did I misread how much I meant to him? Is he actually okay without me? These questions aren't born from cruelty or indifference on your part. They're the natural result of subverting expectations. And once those questions start forming, they tend to multiply. Here's something fascinating about human psychology. We don't chase what's readily available. We chase what feels scarce, uncertain, or just out of reach. When someone knows they can have your attention whenever they want it, there's no psychological tension. No curiosity. No mystery to solve. Your emotional availability becomes background noise. Comfortable, perhaps, but not compelling. But the moment that availability shifts, something changes. Suddenly, what was taken for granted becomes something to think about. This is where many men make a critical mistake. They think the solution is to become cold, distant, or to ignore the person completely. But that's not what creates healthy attraction. That's just creating negative emotions, which can backfire. The real shift happens when your emotional independence is genuine. When you're not pulling away to manipulate a response, but because you're genuinely focused on becoming a better version of yourself. There's a massive difference between ignoring someone to get a reaction and genuinely being so engaged in your own growth that you're simply not available in the same way anymore. One is a tactic. The other is transformation. And people can sense the difference. When your independence is real, when your focus on self-improvement is authentic, it creates a genuine shift in your energy. You're not pretending to be unbothered, you actually are building a life you're proud of. This creates a powerful psychological effect. the other person begins to sense that your world no longer revolves around them. And that realization, that they're no longer the center of your emotional universe, is what triggers deeper curiosity. They start to wonder about the person you're becoming. They start to notice the changes. They start comparing the version of you they remember with the version they're seeing now. Here's a truth that might surprise you: attraction isn't static. It's not about who you were when you first met. Attraction is responsive to growth, change, and evolution. Think about the people you're most drawn to in life. Chances are, they're people who are actively improving, learning, and developing. There's something magnetic about someone who's on an upward trajectory. This applies powerfully in the context of relationships. When someone sees you not just moving on, but moving up, becoming more disciplined, more focused, more purposeful, it challenges their entire narrative about the separation. They might have told themselves they made the right decision, that you weren't right for them, that they could find better. But when they see you genuinely thriving, those narratives start to crack. Not because you're trying to make them jealous, but because growth is objectively attractive. It signals value. It signals that you're someone who doesn't stay stuck, who doesn't crumble under pressure, who uses challenges as fuel for transformation. The psychological impact of this is profound. They begin to ask themselves, did I underestimate him? What if I was wrong about who he could become? What if someone else recognizes this value I overlooked? This last question is particularly powerful. The idea that someone else might appreciate and benefit from your growth creates a sense of urgency. It transforms you from something taken for granted into something potentially lost forever. But here's the crucial part: this only works if your growth is real. You can't fake discipline. You can't fake purpose. You can't fake the kind of internal transformation that radiates outward. This means actually doing the work. Actually going to the gym, building your skills, pursuing your passions, developing your character, strengthening your friendships, and creating a life that fulfills you independent of any relationship. Let's talk about emotional independence, because this is where most men struggle. Emotional independence doesn't mean not having feelings. It doesn't mean being cold or detached from all relationships. It means your emotional stability and self-worth don't depend on any one person's validation. When you're emotionally dependent, every interaction carries enormous weight. You need her response to feel okay. You need her attention to feel valuable. You need her approval to feel confident. This creates an invisible dynamic that's deeply unattractive. Not because there's anything wrong with caring about someone, but because it signals that you don't have a strong sense of self independent of that relationship. Emotional independence means you have sources of fulfillment, meaning, and identity that exists separately from any romantic relationship. Your friendships matter. Your work matters. Your hobbies matter. Your personal development matters. When you have this foundation, a relationship becomes something you choose to add to your life, not something you need to feel complete. And here's the psychological twist: this independence is what makes you most attractive. When someone knows you don't need them, but you choose them anyway, that choice carries weight. It feels meaningful. It feels like genuine desire rather than desperate attachment. After a separation, rebuilding this emotional independence is crucial. Not as a strategy to get someone back, but as the foundation of a healthy life. And if someone does come back into your life, they're coming back to a fundamentally different dynamic. They're coming back to someone who has proven they can thrive independently. Someone whose attention and affection are valuable precisely because they're no longer guaranteed. Now let's address something important. Not every relationship should be rekindled, even if the other person does want to come back. The psychological principles we've discussed are real. People do often reconsider relationships after seeing genuine growth and transformation. But that doesn't automatically mean reconciliation is the right choice. Sometimes the healthiest outcome is that you both move forward separately. Sometimes the growth you experience leads you to realize the relationship wasn't actually serving your highest good. Sometimes you discover that you've genuinely moved on. The goal of self-improvement should never be to win someone back. That's using personal development as a manipulation tool, and it rarely leads to lasting happiness. The goal should always be to become the best version of yourself, period. If that leads to a renewed, healthier relationship, great. If it leads you to realize you deserve something different, that's equally valuable. What we're really talking about here is reclaiming your power. Not power over someone else, but power over your own life, emotions, and trajectory. When you stop making someone else the center of your emotional world, when you start investing in your own growth, when you build a life you're genuinely proud of, you win regardless of what happens with any specific person. You either get back together on healthier, more balanced terms, or you attract someone new who appreciates the person you've become. Either way, you've elevated yourself. So how do you actually apply this in real life? First, give yourself permission to feel your emotions. This isn't about suppressing pain or pretending you're fine when you're not. Process your feelings. Talk to friends. Journal. Maybe even see a therapist. Emotional health requires acknowledging emotions, not ignoring them. Second, redirect your energy. Take all that emotional energy you were pouring into the relationship and channel it into yourself. What have you always wanted to learn? What hobby have you neglected? What fitness goal have you put off? What skill could you develop? Third, rebuild your social connections. Often in relationships, we let friendships slide. Now's the time to reconnect. Strengthen your community. Invest in the people who have always had your back. Fourth, focus on your purpose. What are you building? What matters to you beyond relationships? What legacy do you want to create? These bigger questions give you direction and meaning that transcends any single relationship. Fifth, maintain boundaries. If the other person reaches out, you don't have to respond immediately. You don't have to drop everything. You get to move at your own pace and make decisions based on what's actually healthy for you. And finally, stay genuine. Don't post on social media just to get a reaction. Don't start new projects just to look busy. Do things because they genuinely add value to your life. Authenticity is what makes all of this work. The secret psychology we've explored today isn't really about making someone beg to come back. It's about understanding what creates genuine attraction and healthy relationship dynamics. It's about recognizing that neediness repels and independence attracts. That growth is magnetic. That emotional stability is powerful. That self-respect is foundational. When you embody these qualities, you fundamentally change the way people perceive you. Not through manipulation, but through genuine transformation. And here's the beautiful truth, whether someone comes back or not, you win. Because you've become someone who doesn't need to chase, who doesn't need to convince, who doesn't need to compromise their self-respect for anyone's attention. You become someone who knows their worth. Someone who's actively building a life they're proud of. Someone who understands that the right people will recognize and appreciate that value. That's the real psychology of power in relationships. Not control over others, but complete ownership of yourself and your growth. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Aphorism Archive for more insights on psychology, relationships, and personal transformation. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences. And remember, the best relationship you'll ever have is the one you build with yourself. Everything else flows from that foundation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.